to give some context, I watched this movie with 7 people, and 2 out of the 7 people only 2 out of the 7 people enjoy that movie.
Oh wow!
And I was one of the 2.
Oh wow!
I enjoyed this movie a lot.
We're here with ANTMAN, and we want to go ahead and start us off. What is this movie about?
Yeah, so I'm guessing all of you guys have already seen it. This is probably going to be the biggest movie to talk about this whole week.
Yep.
Probably this whole month.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very simple story. Pretty much it follows Scott Lang, Ant-Man, after kind of surviving the blip, being the hero of the day. And everyone's older, and I believe it's Cassie is the daughter. She's working on this new device that can kind of communicate with the quantum realm. And something happens, things go awry. And they get pulled into this new universe, or this new
realm.
dimension,
Yep.
the quantum realm, which is a subatomic world where Janet Van Dyne, who is Michelle Pfeiffer, she was stuck there for 30 years. And we're on this new kind of adventure where we are introduced to the new big bad of the MCU, King the Conqueror,
Yep.
played by Jonathan Majors. And that's pretty much it, where they get stuck in the quantum realm and they're just trying to find their way back home.
Yeah, on the synopsis, a pretty straightforward, run-of-the-mill type of story. It's like, all right, it's an adventure. They somehow get themselves stuck in this new planet, universe, realm, whatever it is, trying to get out of it. So, I think the usual way we like to start our reviews are what are everyone's brief thoughts for this. So me and Amir, we saw it together, so we know our thoughts. So kind of want to start with you, Alvan. Let us know what are your brief thoughts on this movie.
Yeah.
I actually would like to know what your guys' thoughts are, because keep in mind, everyone, we haven't talked about the movie at all. So this is our first reaction to what everyone knows, our reaction to what the movie is.
Yeah. Okay, so I can go ahead and start.
Okay.
So my thoughts on this movie, I think this was a pretty mid MCU movie. I think it's one of the weaker ones. There were things that I liked about it. Performance-wise, I think Jonathan Majors was the strongest.
Yeah.
But I think story-wise, motivation, action, and logic. I think those were some of the things I did not like about this movie. But I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, just turn off your brain, turn off your mind, and enjoy a popcorn movie." But for me personally, I kind of don't like those criticisms anymore, because I think we're at the point where I'm not gonna just watch a movie and say, "Oh, I'm gonna use 2 hours of my time to just watch a movie with explosions." Like, no, I want to think, I want to feel.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on this movie, I think it was a pretty weak movie.
Yeah, I have very similar thoughts, and even, similar issues with you, and I think I even had some issues with King the Conqueror. I thought, I'm hearing people saying, like, oh, he's the greatest, the new biggest bad, the greatest bad we've had.
No.
I still think he's not on the level of Thanos. I think people are kind of forgetting the kind of performance that Josh Brolin had. He was great. And I think one thing that is the kind of the nail in the coffin for this movie, for me, is I heard him listening to a review of an MCU movie, and I heard the criticism like, oh, is it a great movie? No, but it's a fun time to be had at a theater if you just turn your brain off. I'm like, oh, so you're watching the Quantumania review? And he's like, no, this is a 2015 review.
Yeah, there's a movie fight for them talking about, like, I think it was
Guardians 2.
Age of Ultron. They're talking Age of Ultron. I was like, yo, are you watching an Ant-Man review? He's like, no, I'm not watching a movie fight from 2015. But the fact that this criticism can be played now is like, how is it MC movies are just so like cookie cutter where it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Just turn off your brain and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I will. My last thought on Quantumania before we get to you is I think there are a lot of issues with this movie. But one thing I thought actually did work, I know it's gonna be divisive. I thought MODOK was actually pretty great.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess so. To give some context, I watched this movie with 7 people, and 2 out of the 7 people only 2 out of the 7 people enjoy that movie.
Oh wow!
And I was one of the 2.
Oh
I enjoyed this movie a lot.
Oh,
I Black Adam'd myself with this movie.
I
think my expectations were so low that it exceeded all of my expectations. So I actually really enjoyed this movie. That's why I wanted to go last, because I knew that I would have the most different take of everyone.
Wow, that's...
So you like King the Conqueror then?
I have thoughts about
Jonathan
that.
Majors, I think, was great. I think we can all agree. I thought the strong performances of this movie were Michelle Pfeiffer's Janet Van Dyne and Jonathan Majors' King the Conqueror. I told Amir,
hit or miss.
I think my favorite scene in the movie was when it had Janet and King meet each other when they were younger, like getting to know each other and say, "Oh, why am I here? We're gonna work together to get out of here." I thought that all worked so well. So I thought Janet Van Dyne and King were the best. But what do you guys think about the new actress playing Scott's daughter?
Cassie. It's Catherine Newton.
Catherine Newton. I didn't know she's from Detective Pikachu.
Yeah,
she's
she's
also
from
Freaky.
Big Little Lies. I know her from Big Little Lies.
I knew her from Pikachu.
Yeah, I didn't know she was in Pikachu. She wasn't great in that.
She wasn't good in Pikachu.
Yeah, I thought she was
was
pretty
okay
alright in this.
her character didn't have much to do.
Yeah, they didn't give her too much to do. I don't think she had she didn't have really good chemistry with Paul Rudd, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't really feel the familial connection. Maybe it's just because it's a recast, but I think
it's a recast of a recast.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is the third person playing Cassie?
Yes.
Yeah, because there's the young kid Cassie, and then there was the first adult Cassie from Endgame.
Yeah.
And this is a recast of the one from Endgame.
Oh, so the girl didn't. Oh, wait, it makes
she
sense.
hasn't really aged.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I think, like what little screen time she had in Endgame, actually resonated with me more than all of this movie, to be honest.
Yeah, because I think the biggest issue with Cassie's character in this movie is like, out of nowhere, you kind of see like, alright, she's this genius level intellect, which that is fine. But my biggest issue is the fact that you see Hope Van Dyne and Hank Pym. They are essentially helping her communicate with the quantum realm. Where I'm like, there is no way they would let anyone get close to working with the quantum realm,
when they lost their
knowing that the mom, Janet Van Dyne, was stuck there for 30 years, and it's like, oh, would you really be letting a kid mess with it? It's like, I thought that was weird. So that was like the inciting event. So that was my first instinct. Was like, oh, okay. I think the best way to kind of explain this movie, it's like a bottleneck episode of a TV series, where it's like,
it's a vacuum
located just in one episode, filler episode,
because it returns to status quo.
Yeah,
where you start where you end where you started.
Yeah, the beginning and the end are the exact same.
Yeah,
which I hated that actually.
Interesting.
Yeah. I want to know, what did you like about the movie? Like, what did you like about the movie?
I had like a 40-minute, maybe not, like 30-minute debate with all my friends yesterday during dinner time. They kept asking me questions like, why did you like this movie? Tell us why you liked it. And I was like, why did you not like the movie?
I can give you a fucking essay on what I didn't like about it.
I know that.
Did you like MODOK?
I think he just served as comedic relief. So his role was served well. Right,
I thought that character got me the most emotional in the whole movie. He had two really great scenes. That the first one with Cassie. Yeah, this is not spoiler. Just the first one with Cassie, where there's a moment where she's like, "Oh, why are you doing this? You don't have to be evil." And you just see MODOK. He's like, "Oh, what am I supposed to do? Tell me what I'm supposed to do." I'm like, "Damn, that is so sad." He heard me in the theater when I said, "I'm like, damn." That got me more emotional than anything else in this movie.
I agree it was more emotional than anything in the movie, but still, when he said that, I was like, dude, you have to expect more. Like, don't treat him like a joke, because the whole premise is like, oh, I'm a dick, don't be a dick. Like, be better than a dick. I'm like, no, if you play it more serious, where he's like, oh, I was one of the biggest...
But that's not what the MCU is.
But I expect more, I want more. It's like, you're saying, oh,
it's like
you get, like, a shit... But, like, oh, it's a slightly better version of a shit. It's like, no, I'm going into these expecting them to be better than what they were before. So for Darren Cross, he was actually I thought he was one of the cooler villains in the MCU. And for him,
so I guess that's not, I don't know if that's a spoiler or not.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, no, you see it you see it in the trailer. You see his face.
MODOK.
Okay,
going back to MODOK. Yeah.
Okay, but, yeah, I thought they should have held him, play him a bit more serious. I didn't like him being comedic relief.
I thought he worked.
He's hit or miss for me. I think it was more hits than misses.
In the movie or the character?
The character of MODOK.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I think probably if you're going into this movie expecting a lot of cameos, you're not going to be getting that. Because I know there were some theories that...
Reed?
Who was the actor from The Good Place?
Oh, William Jackson Harper. What a waste of William Jackson Harper.
People thought he was going to be Reed Richards.
He's the butt of many jokes.
Yeah.
Stop thinking that. Yeah. Man, what a waste of... Like, the MCU wastes really good actors on such nothing roles.
Yeah, so if you're expecting this to be like a multiverse of madness where you're going to be getting a lot
cameos,
of cameos, it's not that. What else? Because I know, I'm surprised you liked it. What about the movie worked the most?
I think a lot of the things that I like about the movie can be said in spoilers, but I just like... Peyton Reed got to make the movie that he wanted to make.
So you're a Star Wars fan.
Yes.
So probably that's the reason why it works. Because I know I've been seeing this comparison that feels like a Star Wars movie. And when I first heard that, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? But then when you actually see it, it's like, I see it. It does feel like that kind of weird, like, space adventure. A lot of, like, some practical aliens, mainly CG, though.
Yeah.
But I can see, maybe that's why it worked for you. Because it felt different than they've done before. It does not feel like a true ending to a trilogy for Ant-Man.
Correct.
Which I think the MCU never does trilogies. Like, if you're trying, like, Thor a little bit, and yeah, like Iron Man, but those are like the main ones. But like,
because Civil War is not really.
Civil War is not really a true
trilogy.
true trilogy for Captain America. I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. No Way Home is Spider-Man has kind of a trilogy a little bit.
It's a new beginning. I feel like.
Yeah.
So not going to spoilers. What do you think of King as a villain? Did he? I'm guessing overall worked for you.
He worked, but it's because of I know what's coming ahead.
Okay.
Because if this is your first introduction to King, I can see how it can be a bit disappointing just based on what happens.
That's true.
But, the movie does really well to set him up as the next big bad of the Phase 5 and 6. I would say that.
Did you like... So I don't know if this is really a spoiler, but I'm not going to go into motivation of anything, but I will say kind of his end goal. Is his end goal a spoiler, you think, or no? Of what... of when he's talking to...
why he's doing all this.
Yeah, why he wants to do this. Or, like, not why, but what he's planning to do. Where
I actually felt like that wasn't clear enough.
Alright, so I guess this is not... I'm going to go into it. Pretty much, his end goal is to kind of get revenge on the other kings that trapped him into exile.
Yeah.
And what he wants to do is get rid of the multiverse, I guess, of all of his other kings. But in the process, so he just wants to kill, like, trillions of people, which I thought was way too similar to Thanos. Like, Thanos was he's like, I'm going to wipe away half of the population.
To get rid of pain and suffering. He's like, all right.
Yeah, which that was grounded and that felt emotional and had some stakes to him.
Yeah.
But for this, it felt like, all right, so we're doing the mass genocide motivation again. Yeah. Which I thought was kind of...
That's what my friend said.
Anticlimactic.
That's what Nick said.
Yeah, I thought it was just it's a worse version of what Thanos' motivation is, because his is just, I want revenge and vengeance. Mustache twirling villain was like, I was wronged. I need to go back and get these people. I was like, you couldn't give him, I think, a better like reason to do this rather than just like, I want to kill people. Like, I don't know. That was my biggest problem with King, but performance-wise, Johnny Mage was great.
He was a standout, but I do agree the motivations could be a little bit more clear.
Yeah, the writing is for sure an issue of this movie.
The writing is the weakest part of the movie, I feel like. I think the MCU has an issue of hiring Rick and Morty writers. Yeah. Because Multiverse of Madness was written by a Rick and Morty writer. This movie was written by a Rick and Morty writer, and they're going on to write King Dynasty and Secret Wars, which
I think they're going to step back.
At this point, I have no faith, to be honest. I think they should have actual screenwriters write.
I agree.
Movies rather than TV show writers.
I think because of the reception of this, I think they're gonna delay King Dynasty and Secret Wars, and I think they're gonna probably try to tweak some things, because even Kevin Feige, the fact that when the reviews came out for this movie, he announced that Deadpool 3 was gonna be rated R. They announced the villain of Deadpool, the actress playing the villain, and he also announced that Tom Holland's gonna be in Spider-Man 4. So
and the Marvels 2 is coming out.
And the Marvels got delayed.
Yeah, but the poster came out, so that's like...
Yeah, but that came out like a day or a few...
Came out the same day as Ant-Man released,
actually.
Actually.
So he dropped those 3 big bombs so people would not essentially look at the bad reviews of Ant-Man. So I think he knows, this movie is a whiff in most sense.
Whiff in quality, but from what I saw from
it's gonna still make money. It's gonna still make money.
It's still like on track, I think, to make like 110. Just domestically, I think this weekend, 225 million. Yeah. So obviously, money is not the dictator of quality. Yeah. But I know the audience score is 87, so you lie more with a positive viewing experience. Did you watch it in IMAX 3D?
Fuck no. No. No way. I would not spend that amount of money for this movie. I would say that. Yeah.
So are we gonna get close to wrapping up this non-spoiler review so we can go into the?
I have a lot of spoiler thoughts.
Same.
Yeah. So do you want to go into grades then?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go into grades. So, do you want to go and start us off, Alvan?
Yeah, I would give this movie a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Aaron?
I was expecting a little bit higher, because I give it like a 6.5. Like, I think, or even the movie does have issues. It's really slow. I'm gonna stick to my guns. It's a 6. It's a 6. There are issues. When the ball, like, one thing I noticed when the movie was in trouble was there was actually a more interesting plot line with Hope, Hank, and Janet, where I'm like, oh shit, when we go back to
it's like, why are we
Scott Lang and Cass, I'm like, damn it, this is
back?
The boring one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because that had less to do with King.
Yeah.
Until they finally meet up with him. But even then, there are a lot of issues with the writing. I think it's slow at times. Even though, thank God it was only 2 hours.
Yeah.
It was like a 2.5-hour movie.
I think it could have used extra runtime, to be honest.
I think it could have used the same time.
To develop.
Just divert
cut
your resources. Divert your resources.
I see.
So I give it a 6.
I also give it a 6. I think there are fun parts of this movie. I think
we're all on the same
cool.
score this time.
Yeah. Well,
Uniform rating scale.
We're all on a 6. I think there are fun parts of the movie. I don't know if it's like shittier, like much shittier than other MCU movies. I think this is just getting the force of the fatigue. So it's like, oh, this is the one that get the right punch in the face, and all right, yeah, we're getting tired of this. But yeah, I thought Michelle Pfeiffer and King were great, but a lot of the other stuff in this movie, mainly the writing and the logic, I couldn't get behind. I thought it was too stupid.
If you're kind of going into this movie to see the true, or like the next phase truly get started, or like if you're just going for cameos or the end credit scene, I would say I do not think it's worth the price of admission. I think you can wait or just go on TikTok and find the spoilers there.
Should go on Disney Plus in like 3 months or 2 months.
Yeah. Exactly.
Any other thoughts before I close it?
Go watch The Flash.
The best part of the movie was watching The Flash.
That was good. That was a great trailer. That one
and the Guardians trailer.
That was going Fast X. That one really worked.
Okay.
Because Ernest and the badassery.
Okay.
Fuck you.
But yeah, that's our review, guys. We're gonna do a spoiler-filled discussion after this. So if you don't want to stick around for that, just go ahead and make sure you hit like and subscribe, and go check out our other fun shorts. Yeah, we have a lot of fun meme content and other film-related.
Yeah, and let us know your thoughts. If you really like this movie, I'm very happy you did. Because I mean, I love Ant-Man, the character. I think he was great. Very fun moments. Didn't work for me, but if you liked it, I'm very happy that you did. Let us know your favorite moment in the movie or what could have been improved.
Yeah, just let us know your thoughts below.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.